some of the final survey results, we had 387 people take it. So, which is
That's pretty good.
pretty good.
Yeah.
More people, you know, like,
Yeah.
and so, uh, Jim, if you can, one of those is the graphs, and that's kind of the easier stuff to look through. So basically what we have to do now is start to look at those I keep saying 8 questions, but there's probably only 6 or 7 areas in that, the directives, that the charges for this committee. The first one, I believe, really kind of falls under Jim, which is the sort of where we're at now. And that's a lot of that information that he gave us at the beginning, you know, with just what the budget is, what kind of volume we're doing, you know, what are the basic metrics as is. So that we have a,
So do you want to look at the graphs first?
Yeah, let's look at the graphs first. Oh, that's the text.
Nope.
Oh, try the other one. And so I think that stuff's done. And so, but then we have to go, what have we either observed from, if you were able to take time and be at the transfer station, are you doing numbers yet?
Did 2 counts.
Did 2 counts?
Yeah.
We-
They're about 10 cars apart,
Okay,
128 on Saturday and about 136 on Sunday.
okay. We need a
Super
good
close.
Wednesday in there.
Not since, I think the last one we did was on a Wednesday before that.
Okay. So, we'll need those numbers, and if we can, you know,
So
oh, it's not
we
gonna let
don't,
us.
it's not licensed, unfortunately.
Shit, okay.
How
How did I do it last time?
I don't know, can you save them as a PDF maybe?
Oh, yes. All right. That's you dinging. I was like, why is my computer dinging? All right, sorry about that. PDF. Export there. All right, and so, I thought we could just kind of go through this, and then we need to get people in here. We have to figure out somehow to write this up where I'm not doing all of it. I mean, I'm happy to do. Some of this is self-explanatory, and maybe I do start to try to do a rough draft and we think, but the other thing is, what are the solutions that we're gonna start to come up with? And I was just talking with Jim a little bit of like, what are some things that we could propose be implemented within a year, 3 years, 5 years, you know, but that's gotta kind of be based off of these, results that we see. All right, that's text answers. Let me see. Here's the graphs. Let me save them as, if you want to erase anything off the desktop, Jim, I mean, I can do it too.
Okay.
If you remind me, and then I'll export these. And then, where are y'all?
You have, you have CAD or whatever on your,
I don't, no.
do you ever do that stuff?
I have never used CAD. When I use it, I use the GIS stuff like you see at the town website
Yeah.
that has the tax maps and all that.
Yeah.
And I can make a reasonably good map either with an aerial photo or with just the lot,
From,
you know.
from that.
Yeah,
area stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and you can set a scale if you want,
Yeah.
so you can
So
measure
that's
it.
pretty, that would be, yeah, that would be. good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Put that
so that would
together.
be,
That would work.
yeah,
We can make it more efficient,
Mm-hmm.
but we're not gonna save any money.
two way, you go down on a closed day or whatever, you go down and put, line or paint.
Yeah, that's really not a big deal. We could just move the, Jersey barricades over, measure measure out like 3 feet, 4 feet, so they stay away from the building.
Yeah, you may need more than that for width if people are gonna be opening their doors.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
maybe
I know there's a
could
big
even-
difference in my barn between a 10-foot bay and a 12-foot bay. I've got both and.
Yeah, maybe I'd have to take a ride over to Grantham and just ask them.
Mm.
There's graphs.
Oh, perfect.
All right, so let's just take a look and see what the people who answered said. So these are the general ones, which waste disposal methods, and a lot of this didn't change much from the last meeting. We did get about 50 more responses, but the numbers really haven't changed. So we do see that out of the people that responded, and we're just gonna extrapolate that is to the town, you know, that 80% use curbside recycling, but also use the transfer station. So all three methods that we have available get used a
Yeah.
lot, you know, and so it's not like one isn't being used. And so I think a proposed idea of taking one away doesn't make any sense. That they are all, brush and yard waste, and I think those are, that and composting are things that we have brush and yard waste that we collect, right? Is there a way that we can bump that up? Does it make sense to do that or not? I do know about hazardous waste drop off, but I heard from somebody, they did a drop off in Lebanon this past weekend. They said the lines were so long.
Oh, yeah, no, it's,
So like incorporating some of that, like a day, you know, we've talked about that, I think. Of it's somewhere in that, like, in the next 2 years, like we start to have a hazardous waste day
Day here.
and a furniture day. I mean, let's have a fucking furniture day so people get,
Mhm.
like, just bring it if that's an issue, and it's, you know, obviously not having the free area, which is a common comment that people would like back, but it doesn't
Mhm.
make sense, you know, as far as managing it. That we have a furniture day, and it could be something that's like, bring it, people might take it, you know, but at the end of the day, everything is going. And it might have to figure out how that,
well, I think on the furniture, which is a big deal.
yeah.
And, you know, cause everybody's always got something to get rid of furniture wise. But I think though, I think if we utilize the transfer station like we've been talking about as, you know, because you're already doing the curbside. So this is this is the gravy on top is the transfer station. So to me, you can charge for, like, if you're doing the furniture.
Mhm.
And I don't know how it would look I don't know how it would look like to sell it for a roll off, but if you figured out what a roll off is to sit there
Mhm.
and if you had the space,
You could utilize Lebanon's price sheet
well, that's what I'm saying. So
and add like 10% or 20%
Well, yeah.
on top of their cost.
well, that's what I'm thinking. So if you take that roll off and okay, so it's 8 feet wide and it's, you know, if you get one 30 or 40 feet or whatever is sitting there. And if somebody comes in, I have a recliner. I think, I don't know if it's 20, or Lebanon has
Yeah.
whatever, 13 or 20 bucks.
the
So-
scary thing is mattresses, man, they
Mattress,
charge a lot for
37,
that, yeah.
37.50. So, but my thing is the mattresses and it all goes to the landfill,
Mhm.
but it's charged extra.
Mhm.
So to me, if Lebanon is charging 37.50, I think it is right now.
Mhm.
You know, so do you guys go 47.50?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
we
have
have
to
to
make
for-
it work.
It's
Gotta
the,
pay the trucking.
it's the
Yeah.
convenience factor of they don't have to go to Lebanon,
Yeah,
and then it goes into that roll off.
It's like I told my wife, I'd pay an extra $10 or $20 if I didn't have to go to Lebanon.
Yeah.
yes, right.
So to me, if you took that and then you look at Lebanon sheet on the furniture, on the recliner,
Yeah.
and if the recliner's 20, so if you do 30, and then they throw it into that roll off, and when the roll off gets full, you know, it gets hauled out to Lebanon. You know, and
Actually,
take,
I'm not sure where Casella would take it.
Yeah, that would be kind of up to them if they, I mean, maybe we could do better than Lebanon.
Yeah,
If, you know, they wanna take it to,
well, it goes into the, I know it goes right into the landfill.
yeah, but they may wanna take it to Bethlehem or they. may
Oh,
wanna
yeah.
Take it to,
Well, wherever,
Yeah.
but I just think whatever they're, you know, you just, you know, increase
Mm,
the money.
yep,
Plus, I think it's a benefit for the town to be able to drive to there and to throw it, but you might still make some money while you're doing it. So I mean, in that, you know, and maybe that's where you're, you know, cause I'm sure it's costing more right now for the yard waste. I mean, the tree, you know, to haul it, you know, maybe,
actually, it's way less than
Sure,
when
man,
we've had to
manpower.
have guys
Well,
chipping for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Had 3 or 4 guys chipping.
that's true.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you'd run it over to Hammond's, one guy
And
can
dump
load
it.
the truck, drive it over, and in an hour, he can do 2 or 3 loads, and they're like $18 or something.
Did he
so.
give you a, did he give you a price for like a roll-off? That you could
Filled
fill,
with
fill
brush.
with brush? and
we
they-
haven't looked at that, but that might be something
You know,
that
where
we
he
does,
just picks it
but
up?
we can't haul that ourselves, that's the only
Yeah. Well, no,
drawback to it.
And I don't know if it makes sense money-wise, but maybe if it doesn't,
Mhm.
you know, maybe if he gives you a number for the roll-off, you know, of course, it's more
Yeah.
real estate. in the
Yep.
Roll-off,
So
but I think do you charge for the, you know, do you charge for the brush?
Brush, yeah,
You know, do you?
Yep.
And I don't know what Hammond's, but he has a, you know, chart or whatever for brush that
Yeah.
comes into his place,
yeah, he charges like $18 or $20 for.
you know.
I mean, it might
Load.
be interesting to think about, like, if we got rid of the 2 overflow
Mhm.
skips, that's what they are in my brain, and I know that's a different word, but it's, that are there, taking up space, like, if there's if it's like, can we build a program where if we have, and I don't know Hammonds and all the different players, but like, on the first weekend of the month, it's furniture drop off. You know, I mean, it's not just drop off, it's people pay.
Yeah.
Right, but we have roll off
Mhm.
there, and then it goes, and the second and the fourth is
Yard waste or-
laundry
yeah.
or yard waste, you know what I mean? Like, we
Mhm.
can create that, or we create weekends, like a program where, like, and then at certain times, and it's not, maybe not every month, but like, we do a hazardous waste collection. And so we start to build that in, so there's regularly scheduled times that, you know, people can then know when to come and utilize the transfer station for those, and then what it costs to do it. That there's a price sheet that's involved with it, but you know what I mean? Like, build a, uh, these others program, you know?
Mhm.
And,
Well, if we had something for furniture, we probably wouldn't have had 5 bags of. something
sure,
was all
somebody,
stuff.
right, and that's what I mean, like, and we wouldn't have as much furniture sitting in front of people's houses for free, like, nobody wants your couch that, well, it hasn't rained in weeks, so right now, that's my excuse, but, you know, your crappy old chairs, but if we had a regularly scheduled time that, again, they'd have to pay for it, and people really want someone else to deal with their trash and not have to pay for it, but what would that look like, and build those, and build a program, you know, and the connections with whomever would then end up taking it, whether it be Lebanon or Hammond
Yeah.
or,
Mm.
down in New London, or, you know, wherever, you know. But that might be one way to, again, try to lessen what people are trying to put into the landfill that shouldn't go in there, and redirect and provide opportunities for people to, better dispose of things. Yeah. You know? Yes, Jim?
I don't know what I've done wrong here. Got them inverted somehow, and I can't figure out how to fix.
Right click. So pin for me.
Oh, there we go,
There you go.
thank you,
Mhm.
Jesus.
So that may be, you know, like, because we do see in this graph that people are doing stuff. It didn't necessarily say how you're doing it in Enfield. So to use inside curbside collection service, yes, again, we have that 80%, 12, And then some of the other answers were like not curbside, but we have large dumpsters, which can sell empties. So that was sort of
Mhm.
the purple, which is a very small little line in there that you can't see. I don't know what the percentage is of it. And there's a very small percentage that was not available. All right, you can scroll down. Curbside trash recycling services are reliable and timely, overwhelming, I mean, not overwhelmingly, but 66%, 2/3 of the folks that responded said yes, or actually 4 and 5 you add together, because they're both positives, right? So 88% of people have had a positive yes.
That's good.
Um,
Great.
1 and 2 you add together, and so about 4, what was that, 5% of the time, or 5, says no. Have you experienced any missed or delayed curbside collections? And again, about 80% or 75% is no. Unsure is probably someone who's not at home. Overall satisfaction between the 4 and the 5, we're back at that 80% there. Okay, keep going. Do you use Enfield's transfer station? And again, we have a lot of people who use it. It doesn't know, like, somehow people, so a few times a year is very small. It doesn't give me a percentage there. I don't use it regularly, very rarely. But, oh, here we go. How often? We do see that a few times a year is the most. But we do have 25% of people who use it weekly. And, again, of the folks that responded, but we're gonna extrapolate that they are gonna represent the town. And there's very small percent that's never. So all of those outside of the purple is a yes, I use it. Right? Okay. And then what do you typically bring to the transfer station? I should have had a category for things that shouldn't belong at the transfer station and see if anyone's self-reported.
Try to sneak in.
What do you try to sneak in?
Yeah.
But household trash, recycling, bulky items is still there. Yard waste, scrap metal, 60% there, because people have said that. Hazardous waste. So I think the hazards and the others are the things that shouldn't be there.
Mhm.
But we have to help educate that. They're convenient to use. Again, the 4 and the 5 together give us at least 87, 90%.
Pretty consistent pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Satisfaction, 93% there. Very, 1 and 2 is added together is 1.4% is not satisfied.
Oh, good for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What best describes your recycling practices? The largest here at 60% of all recycled items that can be picked up on curbside. So we do have some that don't recycle. We have 25 that separate organic waste, and all those people that are separating organic waste aren't bringing it anywhere in Enfield. So they are really working at it. They're either doing it in their backyard.
There's themselves, yeah.
Themselves, or like I utilize other services that are not available in Enfield. So, and then, what do you find, type of waste do you find most challenging to dispose of? Household hazardous chemicals, we see over and over, and electronics are probably the 2 biggest ones. Because I know I'm always like, what do I do? What do I do with this? What do I do with that?
Yeah.
I was looking at a 9-volt battery today. I was like, do I go in the trash? Like, I don't know, feels like it shouldn't. So that will help us inform us of how we help people figure out where to take, but also what kind of programs we can build. Potentially. How clear are the guidelines for providing, sorting different types of recycling waste? So this is where the 4 and the 5 together, 4 is like pretty good, 5, we have a little bit larger 1 and 2s here, that think the guidelines aren't very clear. So again, there is room for improvement on this. Agreement with the following statements. I feel well informed about proper waste disposal methods. So sort of agree, green. I'm willing to pay additional fees for improved waste management service. No,
No, yeah,
that's not shocking, not surprising, but, and then I have easy access to recycling facilities. Thank goodness people strongly agree, because we've worked really hard to make sure that they do, but. If the town can improve waste recycling services, what would be most important to you? Expanded recycling options is the longest one, a composting program, longer, more convenient transfer station hours, I think is what that is. They want more hours, but no to pay for it.
Hmm.
Bulk item disposal options, so that's almost 40, that's 44%. Hazardous waste collection days, 45%. I think that there's some real evidence here that to try and build these programs in. They would have to be at a cost. We just can't do it for free. As much
yeah,
as
the
folks.
hazardous waste is extremely expensive. That's
Right.
why it makes sense to do it group wise.
Right, and I think there might be a way, like, again, how do we work with other neighboring towns,
Well, we do.
Mascoma, and say, we're doing
Yeah.
a big hazardous waste collection and again, and just provide a space for that company to come in or wherever, if it's utilizing the parking lot at the high school,
I
can we help
I'm
facilitate
afraid that
that?
people would be shocked at how much it would cost to do it. It's gonna cost the same for the 27 towns as it
Mhm.
does for the 4 towns.
Mhm.
To get them to come is
Right.
X, and then they
Right.
bill for, whatever they collect, but a lot of it is this, just getting them here
Right.
with their equipment.
And we need to know those numbers, because I think,
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
people will be shocked, but, because we go, well, I should be able to throw this away. I mean,
Mm.
we are privileged in this country to have
Yeah.
trash and recycling and facilities and
That's
things
right.
go. I lived in a developing country. I lived in Africa. You know what you did with your trash? You put it over the wall.
Yeah, right,
And then the goats and the chickens ate everything organic out of it, and eventually somebody came along and burned it.
burned it.
And you don't know what was in that pile, but there also was a whole lot less stuff, but everything just, there was no place for it to go.
Yeah,
So we are just used to being able to flush it away, as so would you support paying a small fee for expanded recycling and compost options? So we got more maybes here,
There you go.
still the
Yeah.
maybes and the yeses, those are positive answers outweigh the nos, just FYI. We can add those two together, because I take maybe as on the positive side.
I've actually asked that question before to people down there and they have no problem with paying, like if you went to a bag system.
Yeah.
They have no problem.
What type of residence do you live in? So again, these are the people that responded. Single family home it was 90%. That's not surprising. Apartment, we did some seasonal residents that answered. Townhomes, multi-generational.
Mhm.
And then our age range of respondents was predominantly 50% of it was 65
Wow.
and older.
that's crazy.
So that also reflects this town. I
It
mean, we
does,
have an older
Yeah, that's right.
an older population right now, but we did have a 33% response rate from 45 to 64 and 15% 25 to 44. Not a lot of under 25s. Not a lot of them Gen Zers and
Yeah.
whatever yet. So they're not dealing with trash. They somebody else in their house
They
is.
can't find a place to live except with the parents. who
Right.
Probably filled out the survey.
Yeah, right. All right, so those are graphs. Yep. And then if you just want to close, don't do that X, come back over.
This one?
There we go. So we're not gonna go through all these word for word.
Yeah,
but
what, 30 pages? of-
yeah, there's like 30 pages. So I did, I put the big question up on top. And again, issues you've experienced with curbside collection. What I'm gonna try to do, because it's easier just than to try and explain it, is do a, do some, keyword searches. So, a lot of the times, like a lot of these they're great. Thank you for responding. But like the road was closed by DPW, one trash day. All other collectors have been timely. Thank you for
Yeah.
responding. There's nothing to do with that statement because like that's an anomaly, right? Like
Mhm.
that's not actually informative. But all the nuns are informative. If people wrote none or not applicable, means that they're not having any issues. So, a lot of these is like just one missed pickup.
Yeah.
Holiday weeks are sometimes confusing, absolutely. I do see in here a couple of times, I wish it came weekly, one is not, every 2 weeks is not enough, so that is, so I wanna like try and find those and be like 3% of people said we need more. And a lot of comments on here are like, the lids on the bins are open. I think we saw last week, somebody was like, the lid isn't closed and then it rained.
Mm.
And now I've got water inside my bin, like,
It's gonna,
Deal with it.
Yeah.
can't,
It's gonna happen.
can't, you know, we're not
Yeah,
gonna
if you see the
spoon,
machine that.
not spoon feed you.
Not gonna be-
We also, some of the things were like, when the trash used to go everywhere, like, those are issues that have been solved.
Mhm.
So not things for us, but there is probably, the bin for trash is too small. It requires for us to go to the transfer station. Every other week for pickup is not sufficient.
Mhm.
Causes a trip to the transfer station on off weeks. Maybe you should deal with your trash better.
Mhm.
So reevaluation, to see how many residents are in each household. So do we offer a separate bin size? But again, you know, then we start playing those games of like,
Mm.
I don't know,
Yeah, the select board were like, this is what we offer for curbside.
right,
And and it's not a one size fits all necessarily, but because we have the transfer station,
mhm,
people can, have to deal with it, but.
right. And that's where we go, well, we want you to be able to deal with your trash better.
Mhm.
Twice over the period of 15 years, they've torn our power line down by lifting the apparatus at the front of the truck over too far.
That's the mill front hoppers.
And some of the power lines in some of the places are not high enough. They don't meet the standard.
Ugh.
It's supposed to be 14 feet and some
I
like,
feel like that's a power company issue.
right, it is. Yeah,
Not
yeah.
a trash issue, yeah?
Yep, and like a couple of the mobile home parks, they have kind of saggy ones that are.
Okay, keep on scrolling down. So there's a lot in here, occasional missed recycling, but
Mhm.
I think we deal with that. And I think like the one that I saw that is a good is like, do we have that Casella number really easily accessible for people to be able to call and be like, you missed, and like let them go directly to the source if that's what we want them to do.
Mhm.
I mean, we need to make sure that they can find that number
And
easily.
it's actually better if they call me,
Is it better that they
It
call you?
because if they call Casella, they end up in a phone bank
Mm,
where the people are basically trained to blow people off.
okay,
And if they call me, I can send a note to the Casella route saying, hey, looks like they missed that, and they can get, and if they let me know sooner than later,
mm-hmm,
2 or 3 days later, I can't get them back there, but if it's, the next day, hey, they didn't come yesterday, I can usually get somebody to go back.
mm-hmm. Okay, so we need to make that clear on who to contact. Should, if there's a
Mhm.
missed, so I think
And
that's,
and Casella they've installed cameras on their trucks.
Mhm.
Because a lot of the people that have this issue, they're blowing smoke because they didn't have it out when they're supposed to.
Mhm.
Oh, well, they came earlier than they usually do. Doesn't
Right.
matter. Put it out at 7.
Mhm.
It's supposed to be out there by then.
Yeah.
And so we might have to, and I don't know, so I hate to say this, and, cause it might be an ignorant comment, cause I didn't look. If we have a trash recycling page on the town
We
website,
do, yes, yeah. We have a
You know,
recycling guide.
like all of those, and just remind people that all
Yeah.
the guidelines are there, the numbers are, and the rules for putting your trash are out there.
Yeah.
I was,
And we have the ordinance, which also.
right, I mean, I was dealing with somebody who's like, they don't tell us anything, and I'm like, nope, it's all right there, we just don't spoon feed it to you, yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so, okay, what improvements would you make to the transfer station more useful or convenient to you? Lots of free pile ones, we'll sort those out.
They want
Reclaimed
they want the
wood,
Free pile.
scrap wood is one that people,
Yeah.
more days is often one. Some people want us to repair the paved lot.
The what?
I've seen the,
Repair paved lot, I'm thinking paved, must be asphalt they're talking.
We don't have anything paved.
No, I'm not sure if they mean the entrance. Is there an apron right there?
Little one, yeah,
I
no.
don't know if that's what they're, it just
Oh,
says repair,
I'll have to look.
repair pave.
so published hours of operation is the same all the time. So we'll try to, I'll try to like sort these out so then we can really kind of make sense of them, but this is what I sent to everybody. So they're fun to read through.
Mhm.
And there's some, you don't want to bring knotweed. Sorry. They're fun to read through, like, because you can yell at some of them. But also there are some gems in here and there's some good ideas. You just gotta kind of comb through it. And so and then I realized if I went to one space, I could get all the comments separated, so it's easier to read, but
Pave it, yeah, we can't pave that site at all.
mhm.
Yeah, we've had a lot of people complain about when it gets real wet.
Yeah,
Or you could do what's, crushed stone, hardback,
we've done hard pack before, but we're not supposed to.
no,
Why?
Not supposed to, cause it's a unlined landfill.
Okay.
And so what they want is it left is
Oh, it's on
Regular as
top
it
of a
can be.
landfill.
exactly.
Okay.
So when we finish there and take everything out, they
Mhm.
don't even want us bringing topsoil in. They
Right.
want us to just leave it as is.
so can you do? If you were to move out of there tomorrow, can anything be done there? Or just?
No,
just-
no,
just
it's
Gonna be,
Well,
so
shut
not until
down.
we clean up the unlined
you
landfill.
gotta dig it all out.
I mean, there's not much there because it got burned, basically. A lot of it did.
But you'd have
Okay.
to dig it all up.
You'd have to dig it up and get a clean bill of health and then you could, yeah, it'd be a lot that could be used maybe.
So any issues or experience at the transfer station? None, no, staff is great. Metal dumping outside the dumpster. I don't know. So I'll sort through these again. I don't want to waste everyone's time to, but this is what we need to do is kind of go through there and find the comments that are actually actionable and helpful, but also, not to ignore the ones that we don't like, because if there's a lot of things that are, that we're seeing over and over, we either have to address it, like why we're not gonna bring the free area back, or, something, like, yeah, it's great, except that, you know, or is there another way to do it? Like, again, if we do furniture days, but then have a big, roll off, is that the right word? It's almost like a furniture swap meet, but then it all ends up somewhere, but then what that looks like in total costs, including man hours. But how do we get the transfer station to also make more money in a way, is that possible? And I think that looking at a bag system, because the stuff that we've talked about, the problems that face there are other people using it. It gets too full. And then if we go to a kind of a hybrid system, or suggest, not we go to, but suggest a hybrid system with the select board, that like the only prepaid bags that we've determined, can go, and then the people that live on streets that Casella does not service might get like a free roll of bags, like 100 bags, because they don't have the curbside option. But everybody else that has a curbside option has to pay for bags for the transfer station.
Mhm.
And then if somebody from Grafton or Canaan or whatever is like, it's free at Enfield, they show up, we don't take their trash, or they can go buy bags. I mean, I can buy Lebanon bags, right?
Yeah,
But we can generate some revenue that way. Is there a way to, in 3 years, build a cardboard area and make money back on cardboard?
On that, on your last question.
Yeah,
I think the way that you cannot go into Lebanon landfill is, I believe my sister's got this little card
punch cards.
and it tells where she lives and
Yeah,
what her name is.
yeah, punch cards are only available, I was just looking at their website, and like, the punch cards are only available to
It's a
Lebanon.
Lebanon resident.
Lebanon
He also has a
residents.
different card that,
A permit, yeah,
it's a
Yeah.
permit with her
Yes.
address where,
scan code on it and things.
Yeah.
if
So
you don't
they-
have it, you don't.
Yeah, so that's where, I mean, that's a more sophisticated
Well,
system,
that
and we
be,
could
maybe, I think it's like a just.
look at doing that in a 3,
That was
5-year
a year from now.
plan, but like, can we do
Yeah.
bags in a year?
We'd
and
have to
just-
Have something for internet down there. if
Right,
we had
right.
Anything.
And that's where it's like, you know, in a year, can we implement a bag system? And then like, if things, you know, but if every house gets a toter and people don't decide to not use the toter, or they're overusing their toter, like, use less trash, folks. I don't know, figure it out. Can we start to implement a composting system or work with one of the composting groups? So there's, to try and get them to come in Enfield, because they obviously, Upper Valley Compost or whatever it is, services Lebanon and Hanover. Would they come this way, or is there somebody else that wants to start doing that? And that would help us to reduce what's going into landfills and help people. I think is the way we should be thinking about it. How do we help them reduce the landfill and making that feasible? Main barriers preventing you from disposing of recycling or waste, laziness. I love that we commented on that the last time, the self-aware folks, lack of strength. So, so there's a little bit of confusion. Again, we can look at the materials that are available to folks and see if we can tighten up the wording, make them clearer. Writing directions is an art, and there's always people that will not
I mean, yeah,
understand them.
that confusion over what the transfer state, I mean, there's a recycling guide right
Yeah.
on the town website.
Right.
Download that and print it,
Right.
and it tells you everything,
Right,
what has to go to Lebanon and what it doesn't.
right. Knowing where to take some items once at a facility, so. And yeah, that's the same way. I have questions and it's like, I need to just go and find the information, so. Items such as toothpaste tubes and compostable packaging seem to require special facilities. That is true. Tetracycle, okay. But what are some other programs that we can do? I want plastic bags. Plastic bag recycling somehow. Building benches. So, I think for the next meeting, hopefully we'll get Jean and Marcia here. Peter has resigned, but we really need to like start to figure out what are the suggestions we're gonna start to make. That's what I'd like everyone to think about. What kind of suggestions can we make? What kind of numbers do we need to back it up with? Because what we need to go to the select board with is like, here are things we heard, and that all 3 of our systems, there was curbside. Curbside for both solid waste and recycling and our transfer station are utilized, you know, significantly. But how do we make them, you know, something that we're generating a little bit more revenue? And making more efficient, and how do we maybe increase keeping stuff out of the landfill so that we can maximize the weight that goes in that, you know. So what are those creative ideas that we've seen in other places that we can do?
You guys probably already have yours picked out.
You know, one of the problems is, like Jim was just saying, if you want to grow with the town,
Mm-hmm,
you don't have a big enough piece of property there.
right,
If you wanted, yeah, if you wanted to do a full serve or add services or that kind of stuff, that's tricky. I mean, we do have a little bit of room up back here.
What
right.
about, I don't know who brought I don't know who brought it up to me or something. I don't know if it was here. What about out in the front here? Is there any? Going
Not
down?
really, cause we got the sand pile and then it drops down to a wetland.
Did they say something? They say one time if I put the fire station in or something. Maybe
They had
put on
talked about
that
it,
or
but
something.
yeah, they looked at,
Yeah.
you know, fitting it in here, but I
Yeah.
think they discovered pretty quickly that there's just not this kind of space.
But what kind of like, what do you mean by adding services, taking like?
Well, I mean, like,
When I said
like
stuff.
if we wanted to handle bulky items
Uh-huh.
occasionally or, you know, seasonally or something like
Mhm.
that. You know, that could theoretically, you could put a dumpster up back here for a
Right.
time. But yeah, I mean, it would be a little trickier because again,
You'd have to monitor.
people
it.
would, yeah, people would want to try to sneak it in and that's what what happens. And so,
Well, like, to me, what I got and what I was
Yeah,
thinking which would be. And it doesn't sound like it doesn't sound like it could happen down there because of. The size and if you can't dig any,
hmm,
because like I was thinking. Would be to almost like Lebanon has, so the roll off. Say the table is the roll off.
Yeah.
Right, and then. There's a fence, a little railing right here, and that's the height of the roll off.
Mhm.
So I can just take my stuff out of here
yeah,
and there it's in the roll off for the scrap metal.
Mhm.
Or here's the bin for the mattress, you know, they've got a
Right.
thing just for mattresses, and
Yeah.
they've got the next one for the furniture. But it's about that,
yeah.
it's about that height. So you're not trying to go over and you're not trying, and nobody's
Yeah.
gonna fall in.
I mean,
You got
the drawback to that is a couple things. Number one, and we've discovered this with metal, and because the metal, the metal handler is requiring us to have a two-stage process.
Yeah.
And that's because these people, if they have access, they're like,
Throwing it.
you know, they're
Yeah.
doing that business and that's tough. So, you know, it would almost make more sense to have, you know, collect and make a pile of the stuff that these guys could monitor and then load it.
Yeah.
Because then you also can get more into a bin and.
Yeah, by load.
and some of those kinds of things.
When I think I had talked to you when I was down there. And when I was down there doing my questions and. Cause we were talking about how to make it faster,
Mhm.
but also be able to watch. What was going on, what was coming through. And I think you had brought it up like Lebanon, you're stopping at the gate,
Right,
the guy's checking it out. Okay, yeah, you've got this, okay, that
Yeah.
goes. You know, and then he's doing the punch, okay, yeah, that's, you know, 3
Yep.
punches or whatever. So he's getting an eyeball on what is in the truck.
uh-huh,
And then he's sending, cause I mean, they must have a pretty good. Because once they go by the gate, they're free for all.
Mhm.
So and then maybe that's a question to ask them is what are they finding?
They can actually see across to where they're throwing stuff out from that scale house too.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I mean, if somebody wants to. You know.
Yeah, they do it down here.
Sneak something, they're gonna be
The
able to-
occasional air conditioner that
yeah,
Yeah.
right,
they sneak over to
Yeah.
the side.
But I'm
Yeah.
just, and so I don't know if that's something like you had brought up about trying is the first stop. You know, is the first.
taking one of the two guys and putting them at the gate
Yeah, okay.
and making that the checkpoint. So then the other person is just doing almost like physical helping,
Yeah, checking
um,
out, okay.
you
yeah.
know,
Oh, he's good.
like,
yeah.
oh, you're in the wrong spot, or like, oh, you can't get out of your car, let me help you get your stuff. And so the kind of inspection, especially
Yeah.
if we do a bag system,
Well,
you don't want someone coming in all the way through and then be like, you know, you could
yeah, so I guess
inspect
yeah.
at the gate kind of thing before they come in.
Mhm.
and you'd have to,
And then the second person is,
yeah, and you'd have to do that if you're gonna do your
yeah,
bag thing, you know,
Yeah.
or hey, I got a couch. Okay, well, that's gonna be, you know,
Yeah,
$35 or
That's
whatever.
why
Yeah.
I'd like to work with Jim on making multiple lanes,
mm-hmm,
because you wouldn't need anybody at the gate, because all it takes is one person,
mm-hmm.
and you'll have 10 cars behind them.
Mhm.
cause they take so long to unload.
Yeah.
But if you can bring them up there so that this fast guy can go about his business.
Yeah.
Stay in your lanes.
Yeah.
Go around the dumpster and they're gone. Now, if they've got appliances,
Mhm.
you're gonna ask them, what are you doing with that air conditioner?
Yeah,
The fee's $20. Oh, I'm gonna take that with me.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you know that, and that's gonna happen.
drop it on Bog Road.
Bog Road, Grafton Pond.
I think I heard, George Hill the other day.
Yeah, yeah.
Someone was joking. It was like, I was like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, so yeah, it'd be great to like try to come up. I guess when you're thinking about we need more space, it's like if we did a bulky drop off special, you know what I mean? Like just
Yeah,
this weekend, like we do one quarterly.
yeah, right, yeah,
Then if we utilized like the um the space out here, the DPW space out here,
yes.
it would just be that weekend, but
That weekend
I mean, it
or
would
that
be
day.
that day, but it would also have to, you know, again, somebody have to be there to,
Well, and yeah, with something like that, I mean, I could put a guy on overtime for.
right, and that's what I was
4
thinking,
hours
if
and
we,
just
if we
do-
tried to work in some better special drop-off days, so
Yeah.
that people know there's going to be a furniture bulky item drop-off day, and
Mhm.
we advertise there once a quarter, they still have fees, like it's not a free
Oh,
one.
it's, yeah,
But then we get maybe, then that gets funneled there and it's not as much checking at the transfer station.
Mhm.
And we provide the hazardous waste drop off, and it doesn't matter what town you're paying for it, but if
Mhm.
we start to provide some of those opportunities, on a fairly regular schedule, not, you know, maybe it's quarterly kind of thing or biannually,
I mean, I would start on the household hazardous waste collection by lobbying to have one here,
yeah,
host one here.
yeah, that's what I mean.
But they've been reluctant in the past because we're so close to Lebanon that they really want to get into other parts of their territory.
Well, and that one,
But
we
maybe
might
we can
have
make it.
to, we might have to say, go to Canaan and, you know, some of the surrounding
Yeah.
towns, or, you know, and be like, let's do a Mascoma
Yeah,
hazardous waste,
at the
And
high school.
at the
or
high
something.
school.
Yeah, yeah,
and it's available to all 5 towns.
right. yeah.
And do like,
Although some of the towns out here do not participate in the Upper Valley Regional Planning.
right,
So if they're not members, they're not letting them participate. So that would have to be in a different.
okay, so, yeah, I mean, I feel like if anybody shows up with hazardous waste and are willing to pay for it to be disposed, we shouldn't be like, what town do you live in?
Mm,
You know what I mean? Like,
mm.
we're trying to keep bad chemicals out of the landfills.
Oh, yeah,
And,
yeah.
you know, like,
But
but,
then Enfield residents don't want to pay for Canaan hazardous.
no,
waste
no,
or
no,
Grafton.
and that's why it has to be a fee structure.
Right,
And, or, you know, does that fee cover, if people come to pay, does that cover the company coming out? Or is that an
well,
addition?
yeah, the way it works now is we give a down payment of like $4,500 upfront to
Yeah.
get to participate.
Get in there.
And then at the end of the year, they've totaled up all the stuff that people have represented from Enfield. And we get a bill for that. And it's been a lot lately. I mean,
But that's free
it doesn't cost
For the-
our community, it costs the community, but it doesn't cost the
yeah,
individual.
the individual.
Right.
So, yes, so they're.
Yeah, so you can go drop your stuff off and leave, but then.
Wait, where do we drop?
We
our
write
stuff?
a check that does that. What's that?
Wait, where is this?
This
Here?
is- No, this is the Upper Valley Regional Planning.
Oh,
They have 5 or 6 a summer,
oh,
and
Okay.
at least 2 are in Lebanon, sometimes 3, and then they'll have one like in Sunapee or one in Washington.
so what about a structure where we do one, maybe we pay for them, but then people pay, when they show up, it's like they pay a fee. So this box of chemical, like whatever the company is, and it's $25,
Mhm.
and then like, so there's no bill at the back end, like that company,
Yeah, because they're gonna have.
if we get,
Yeah,
right, like, I mean, you know, we guarantee that they're gonna make $4,500, because we pay that up front.
Mhm.
And then once they get to $4,500, and then anything they make past that, they keep, or we get back our 4,500, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like somehow,
Yeah.
like we put a deposit down.
Yeah.
We get that back once they hit that mark, and they keep everything that they make on top of, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if they do that, like
I don't know if there is one that.
versus
that
like,
collects money. That's the other thing is.
cause like, I know like the shred events that we do at the co-op, I
Mhm,
think the co-op just pays for that, so they provide it free.
mhm.
But then like, yeah, cause they provide it for free, but like, I don't know, that's why I was like, if we provide a space versus billing the town,
Yeah.
but people can pay to come and like they've collect all their stuff
Mhm.
and it's $50 and give us all your chemicals, you know?
Yeah.
And
Well, the
I don't know,
don't wanna pay attitude is,
Right.
is gonna be your problem.
right, but at
When
the same
someone
time.
shows up with a bunch of old ammunition or some nasty, insecticide or something.
Gasoline.
And the people are gonna go, oh yeah, well, that's $100. They're gonna go, what? Here.
Yeah.
So,
But I mean, that's like, if we work together with a private company and we just give them a site that they can host this on,
Host it, yeah, yeah.
you know, like, hey, is that the other way to do it? Like, we're gonna provide a space for you to host this and whatever you make is yours to take and,
Mhm.
we'll try to get the word out and like,
Mm.
there is no cost to the
I think I
town.
could see if there's any vendor that is interested in doing that.
I mean, because like that, like bulky, I mean, if there's things that we can make money on, like scrap metal and stuff, we wanna like advertise those things and be like, this is
Yeah.
scrap metal Saturday,
Yeah,
and bring it all and
we're getting
we've.
plenty of scrap metal.
Yeah, don't do that.
But I like, or, are there ones that we can help? And then other things like
Yeah.
composting, can we work with the compost places to say, if we provide I don't know how we would be able
Mhm.
to do that. There's a couple of systems out there, but I think but I see composting in here a lot. We want to keep that out of the landfill. It's heavy. It's organic waste that can be useful. And how do we help to start facilitate that being available in our town, but also these other harder things that we don't want people burning the mattresses in their backyard.
Right.
We have to give them a place to go that's not just driving to Lebanon,
Mhm.
but that also, or is it that we have those and we charge, if it's $25 to take to Lebanon, which I know I'm just making up a number,
Mm.
it's $35 to bring it right here, but you save yourself having to go to West Lev.
And get permitted and all that.
Right, like, and then we deal with it. The other one too is, can we figure out, is there space maybe on this property? Cause I guess if it's a landfill, we can't build a cardboard shed. Can we build a cardboard shed and start to deal with cardboard like they're doing in Grantham?
I think my thing is, if you can't if you can't move stuff around or dig or that type of stuff down there, then I would say to try to do it up here,
Mhm.
because then, and here's this is my list is do the bag system. For the future, do the cardboard baler,
Mhm.
the aluminum cans. Bring back the free pile. Do the food waste to try to cut down
Mhm.
on the amount of trash or weight. Have a roll off for construction and demolition that is everything's, that's extra. And then have a roll off beside that or wherever for furniture, mattresses, again, what you're gonna check, you're gonna
Mhm.
upsell and have room enough to store like like a trailer with the cardboard bales that would come
Mhm.
out of it. And I'm just saying that because then I think you could make some money on the cardboard and it would keep it out of it would drop the
Zero sort.
it would drop the amount of
Yeah.
tipping fees
Yeah.
that are going, same with
Yeah.
food waste. The aluminum cans, I don't know what you get paid for with a block of, but I'm guessing it's pretty good money
Mhm.
for a can.
I mean, I think one of the things we'd have to check though, is if we start separating out, gleaning the valuable things out of the recycling is zero sorts gone because, a lot of the reason they do that is because they want to handle
Right.
and do that. So if we're gonna take, cans and cardboard out of that stream, they're gonna be going, well, you know what? We're really not interested in doing.
Well, that's what
zero sort anymore.
so Ludlow does that.
Yeah,
And they separate it. They
they separate it. They're like Lebanon does.
and they
yeah.
collect the cans and then whatever is left.
Yeah,
So like whatever is left,
All
and then they're like,
plastic.
all right, this is recyclable, but it's,
Mhm.
so that is going, we're not gonna make anything on it, that goes in the zero sort. And then finally, whatever for trash is going in the trash, but it's already
Yeah.
gone through, so you're cutting down so much waste.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think, so that's why I think, to me, you know, in the perfect setting, in the you know, with enough real estate to do it all, and enough manpower to do it,
Hmm.
would be,
So get rid of curbside is what you're
no,
saying.
no,
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 no. So I think if we leave zero sort
Ludlow
curbside,
doesn't have curbside.
no, they don't.
right,
I'm saying because the amount, because you have so much going into the transfer station.
But relatively speaking, it's not, I don't think. I mean, it's,
I think the biggest thing that comes to the
Ultimately.
transfer station is cardboard. Because you
Yeah.
can't fit it into the toters as well, like, that's why we bring our cardboard there. That would be the only thing I would sort out. Or you leave zero sort so that Casella is still doing that and they're making money, but if you're bringing recycling to the transfer station,
yeah,
trying to get the transfer station to pay for itself a little bit better,
right, yeah,
you know, like curbside is paid for out of taxes.
Yeah. yeah.
That's gonna stay in the taxes, that's in the town, you know, and so is the transfers, like, employee salaries and stuff like that. But the outside of that, the transfer station, if it can generate some income, that, not the curbside. And, would be the bag system,
Mhm.
because that just for the transfer station, not for the toter.
Yeah, no, I
And
think,
not the sticker on the toter.
I think the user fee is,
Yeah.
it's the good idea, but
Like,
if you want to start marketing recyclable materials, then you really need to start diverting everybody to your transfer station. So then
yeah,
you have enough scale to make it worthwhile.
right, but if we
Yeah.
start with just the cardboard,
But didn't you
because
have,
that's the thing that's filling up
Yeah.
that's what's filling up the skip, that's all I can think of. The damn place where you put everything in.
Yeah.
Roll, are they roll-ups? What is it called? We're
The
gonna,
compactor with the,
compactor.
yeah, with the roll.
Okay. So, but if that's getting filled up with cardboard and we just divert that out,
Mhm.
just so it doesn't get as full as fast,
Mhm.
you know, like, and then that, because that's what's coming there, because it doesn't fit into the, you know what I mean? Like, and we just see how that system goes versus like doing too much.
Mhm.
well,
3-5 year
have-
plan.
but
Mhm.
you guys remember the tonnage offhand from curbside to transfer, wasn't it pretty close?
So, yeah, we collect about 10 tons of zero sort at the transfer station versus maybe 30 or 40 curbside.
Okay,
But maybe the overall picture at the end of the year for trash,
Yeah, the trash is a much higher percentage at the transfer station
so I'm just,
relative.
so I'm just saying, if it's, to me, if you can, see, cause right now, people know, like, all right, I put this in the bag. You may not catch me, you know, I put it in the bag and I'm throwing it, I'm not recycling, I'm throwing it into the packer,
Yeah,
into the trash. So, and that's why I think at Ludlow, they really, they want you to,
Well, they have to dump on the recycle, they have to dump the bags.
well, and they wanna see, like, all right, yes, well, wait a minute, I see, you know, you can't put cans in the trash, the cans
Yeah.
go over here. But I think after everybody's been trained enough, you're cutting down so much on the waste.
Mhm.
And then you're getting your material, the value, which would be the aluminum cans. And to me, the card, even if you don't sell the cardboard, it's still free to get, you can give it to Lebanon for free.
yeah, but I mean, I think you get the same effect if you start charging for trash at the transfer station.
Oh, I'm not saying not to charge for that either.
Yeah, cause then people are gonna be more about putting stuff in there and, you know, even though it costs the town to do zero sort, but at the end of the day, those materials are generating money that helps pay to
Right.
support the.
I mean,
curbside.
I would charge people for trash to encourage them to do. I mean, you can't weigh every bag, but man, it'd be more fun to do it by weight, wouldn't it? You know, like the other one.
That's what I'm saying, you're still doing the curbside, that nothing changes with the curbside, but it be for here, my thing would be is you do your bags, the bag system.
Mhm.
And you work on keeping the cardboard out of the packer, the
Mhm.
compactor as much as possible. And if you can start to, the people that are coming into the transfer state, to me, like I said, I just think the transfer station is an added bonus for everybody because they're already getting curbside, so it's an added bonus. So I think if, with that being the added bonus, you can say to these people, like, we want to keep cans, or we want cardboard over here and we want cans over here. And if you can make some money on that, then great. Same with the food waste. If you can keep the food out of it
Mhm.
and it cuts it down, maybe at the end of the year, you're not paying, maybe does it drop it 10% or 20% for the weight?
Yeah, and it might, and some of that might just be like trying to cut, appealing to like getting the food waste out is just trying to appeal, like it's heavy, like that's education and we pay
Yeah.
the tipping fees, is based off of weight. And if we can keep like that's sort of like there's a whole mental campaign versus,
But
but we have to provide
that has to go someplace.
Yeah,
and,
right. But
you know,
that's
is there
why
anybody out there that's gonna come and take that for less than the tipping fee?
I don't know. So that's where.
Yeah,
That's why, like, so in Lebanon and Hanover, I think it's Upper Valley Compost. I don't know, like, I drop my bucket off at the co-op.
yeah,
And I have to go inside and I get a new lid and a new liner, cause you do a bucket exchange out in the shed that's.
Yeah.
That, there's no, there's no person there, it's just a shed. I put my bucket in, I grab a clean bucket, and then in order to have a lid and a liner, I have to go into the co-op. They have my name on a list, and I get one bucket a week.
yeah,
And so I drive my compost there. I also take my compost to the farm I work on.
yeah,
Marcia, works her own composter in her backyard.
yeah,
But that same company at the co-op provides curbside pickup for people that have signed up for their service. So they're an independent contractor. They provide curbside pickup in Lebanon and Hanover.
yeah.
So if you ever, like, I think it was yesterday, if you went through Lebanon, you would see yellow 5-gallon buckets every once in a while in front of
And
somebody's
is
house.
there a fee for?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a private company that's
Okay.
doing it, and those people are paying that private company directly.
Nordic Waste.
It's Nordic, that's what it's
Yeah.
Nordic Waste.
Okay.
And they're pay, so it's like, how do we get Nordic Waste to now be like, hey, you want to provide that service? Like, I don't know if.
Right, that's,
Like, how do we get them to come here?
Right,
Or
yeah.
do we provide a shed somehow? Now, then, like the co-op does, and they've worked it out with the co-op, the people come into the front, the member services area.
yeah,
It's not a ton of extra work, but it is an exchange and it benefits the co-op because generally people are doing it when they go shopping.
yeah,
It sucks as a shopper when you go and there's nobody working the front desk, because then you've got to go find somebody, but it's not an honor system. You do have to go and sign for it. I don't know what the exchange is like for their curbside, but that's the service I do. But how do we, if we go to Nordic Waste and say, hey, we want to bring composting to Enfield,
yeah.
let's figure out a system.
I believe it's free in Lebanon to dispose of. It's just you've got to get it from here to Lebanon. And I believe it's free.
All right.
Yeah, or like, and I know Lebanon and right at the landfill there, they have a
Yes, yeah.
composting program. So what does that one look like? I think
That's what I'm saying.
I think part of our 3-year plan is to get composting in Enfield.
Mhm.
And right now, we don't have to figure out the like nitty gritty, but like we've got a few companies that are doing it. But I think part of the proposal is that we want to make sure, get composting as part of the daily the landscape in
But I mean,
Enfield.
if there was a way that we could just tell
Yeah.
people in Enfield now,
Oh, yeah,
hey, you can go to Lebanon and use those composting services.
yes,
That might be a good, like, first step to see
Absolutely.
if anybody's really interested. in this.
absolutely. And then those of us that are doing that,
Yeah.
but there's enough comments in here
Yeah,
that show that people want composting and
And so if we can
not
get
have to
that-
drive to
I
do it.
mean,
If we,
well, yeah, but I
I
mean,
mean,
they're driving anyway down there and you're driving to co-op, so.
right,
and
but
so,
like,
maybe that's a good first free step to do.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
but how do we, if we're looking at like, can we improve the overall, and if there's a way to like, you know, if that's part of the quality of life and
Mhm.
raising up, you know, like our collective consciousness.
Yeah.
If I lose you all with that
Well, and I mean,
statement,
you know,
but
if there's, 50 people that take stuff to Enfield, then hey, then we start looking at getting, and then the company that provides the container might say, oh yeah, I'll put one in Enfield.
I mean, I think
Then
that,
maybe we'd have a couple
I think
hundred.
we have at least 50 people.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, again, when we are presenting stuff to the select board, we have to say what we're at, and then like, we have to give them some options of things to do.
Mhm.
And I think that that's part of like the 3-year plan, and maybe part of the 5-year plan is, you know, I don't know, a bigger transfer station with more hours. I don't know, you know, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you just said no one wants to pay for that. so-
I know, but like, but they also, you know, I don't know, first and foremost, don't be like Hartford. I don't even know what that means. Keep zero sort recycling. Other than that, make it easy to make decisions that are good for the environment. So people want to people want it to be easier.
Or don't get much easier than zero solar.
I know.
No.
I know. Like, to me, the hardest part with zero sort is just the amount of cardboard boxes, because so much of life is delivery. As much as I want to
I would definitely,
down, you know, want to shop locally.
you would definitely wanna explore that a little bit more
Yeah,
because.
absolutely, absolutely.
you- Like Jim said, if you pulled the cardboard out of there, it would be like your metal.
Mhm.
You pull all your heavy iron out of there, and now the company doesn't want it anymore because there's no heavy iron.
Mhm.
So then what do you do with all the metal?
Right,
All the rest of the metal,
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, you only get paid light iron for it, but
but certainly doesn't hurt to ask these
Right,
questions.
or like, yeah, I mean, it's just, we have
Well,
to.
it's already being done too. That's why I say through that Ludlow, and that's through
Hmm.
Casella.
Well, and like, and where's, Grantham taking their cardboard? Somewhere.
I don't know where they're taking the
Okay, I
cardboard.
didn't know if you guys asked that
The
when you.
trash goes to Newport.
They are bailing it,
Yeah, they're bailing it.
and they do have a
And we
shed.
get
and
90
they
cents
store it
on
in some
something.
trailer.
90
I
cents
forget
on
what he
some.
said. I think it might be going to like Glens Falls or someplace where they'd have a big paper mill.
Yeah,
When I looked at it, it was like, it was Maine and I think it was like $50 a bale. So it wasn't,
Yeah,
yeah,
right, yeah,
he said they were getting right now $90 a bale for cardboard,
yeah.
but now you've gotta have a tractor to put on a truck, or you hire somebody to do it.
well, I'm
You gotta
wondering,
store it.
but I'm just wondering, because even at Lebanon, it's tractor trailers that are sitting there and you fill it up. And it looks like whoever's paying for the cardboard, it's their trailer.
Mm.
I think it's just like the people that pick up the tires, BDS tire, we use them at the shop,
Uh-huh,
but I think they provide the trailer, you fill it, hey, it's full,
I see.
and they're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna,
Yeah.
you're gonna pay me whatever, $3,000 for the load,
Yeah,
but I think that just needs to be explored more, but I'm just saying at the minimum, Lebanon is free to get rid of the cardboard. So even if you took even if you took cardboard from here,
Mhm.
it's free.
Mhm.
Food waste is free to get rid of. So they're making money on their side.
Mhm.
So I just think we just gotta ask the questions of where are you selling it to? Are you making any money on it? And I mean, obviously they wouldn't be doing it if they're not making any money. I mean, by now I would think, but it's also, even if you're not making any money, you're keeping it out of the tipping fee of,
yeah,
at the end of the year, that total. That's what I think we gotta look at is how do you drop the tipping fee down at the transfer station? And then also give the people
Mhm,
the couch. I wanna throw my couch, okay, you're gonna pay.
mhm.
Put the couch in there, and then you guys, the town is making whatever, $10 off from that couch.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And it's the convenience factor.
Yeah.
For them.
Yeah,
We're
no.
gonna see in here, laziness and convenience are gonna be biggest answers for stuff. And again, I know we have space limitations and there's
Yeah.
and you know, size limitations and then obviously money limitations, but
Yeah.
is there some middle ground and things that, you know,
Yeah.
we can be, that we can do, that we can expand services, but without like, what are those creative things looking like?
Mhm.
That can be middle steps as well, you know,
Yeah.
and they might be permanent steps, but I think that there's ways that we can add more. But anything else for today? I want to keep read through these things that I've sent you.
Mhm.
Keep reading through them. What sticks out to you? That's what I want to come up, like, talk about next week. And what ideas, like, John, you have so many great ones that I want to be able to, like, write these
What
out.
sticks out to me is
Yeah.
92% of the people are pretty happy.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. They're happy, and all three of, like, and I say three, although I consider curbside, both services on curbside to be pretty much one and the same.
Mm.
But everything's being utilized. There are things that we can do more of, but again, then we have to figure that out. But
Yeah, no,
it's not that the transfer station's not. I still want those numbers of
Mhm.
cars. But I think, like, is there a way that we can generate a little bit of income or cut down on some of the I don't want to always call them anomalies, but the negative, the backside of stuff of other towns coming in, you know, like we're filling up that compactor really fast and stuff like that. So I think those are the kinds of suggestions that we have to make, and especially one that can generate some revenue, even if it's a little bit, but so let's keep coming to ideas, because that's what we have to present
Mhm.
in December.
but
Yep.
for Jim in
But-
town, at least, you know,
Yeah.
my surveys that I did,
Oh, yeah.
survey that I did on the Wednesday, I think it was Wednesday.
How
You
did
know,
you?
most, everybody, you know, says the guys are great and
Yeah.
they very helpful. I mean, that's the common.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the common thing. So thanks for you guys for doing that, and, you know, maybe you can get a raise out of it.
One of my
Yeah.
opinions.
Do that one.
There we go.
But you got, I mean, most people were happy with just how it is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
really,
I mean, overwhelmingly, the comments are really positive on the
Yeah.
transfer station and I think that, you know, we lose something when we lose that, so I don't want to at all. I also do want to find ways to get people to be more, considerate of their trash and landfill. I think we can just improve
Mhm.
and raise the consciousness level. All right, before we go, I see that we have some people online. Is there any comments from the public?
Yes,
Julie.
this is Julie,
Hi,
yeah.
Julie.
Hi, I was wondering, it was mentioned, that this survey is representative of the town. I would like to know, it may have been mentioned before, how many residents was this survey emailed to?
It wasn't emailed to anybody directly. It was made available it was on the town website. It was announced in every possible space that we had, and we had 387 people. When we looked at the breakdown of it, the breakdown itself is fairly along the lines of the town makeup, but
So
we have
about
to
10
extrapolate at some point in time. Yep.
Correct, about 10% or a little less.
Yeah, unfortunately, around here, that's a good, I'm a statistician by trade and we aim for 30%, but, around here, 10% is a good response rate. So,
Super, thank you.
yeah, so, but it was online for a whole month. We had it announced in every way, shape we could. And so,
Listserv.
unfortunately, we didn't email it to individual. We don't have a budget, so we couldn't do
That's fine.
postcards and stuff.
Yeah,
you did,
I think I spoke, it was on listserv, yes. Mhm.
Yeah, multiple times, like every week.
you haven't posted these yet. Julie,
Yes,
Oh,
so, and we do have, I'm guessing there's quite a few surveys that were done at the transfer station that you haven't seen
Yep.
yet.
Okay,
And they're, what are they? There's 6 questions and, so you'll probably see them at some point and that'll answer some more too.
Yeah, we haven't posted any of the results. We just had them, like literally the survey closed, on the, at 30th at midnight.
That's fine.
And then we did also, multiple people of the group here, which we're missing 2, spent time at the transfer station asking, doing, in-person interviewing. So,
yes, I do understand that.
yeah. Yep. Any other questions? Thank you. All
At the moment, no.
right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ed, anything from you? Are you there?
I don't think he's there.
Oh,
No.
okay. All right. Seeing none, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right. All in favor out of the 3 of us?
All right.
Aye. Thanks, y'all. All right, we're back in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Let's start coming up with some good solutions.
Thank
Got
you all.
mine.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Really appreciate it.
See ya. Got yours all written down?